The mystery of consciousness. Science cannot explain why you are aware. There is something it is like to be you. Right now, you are experiencing visual sensations, the shapes and colors of whatever you are looking at. You are experiencing the sound of the narrator's voice. If you are tired, you are experiencing fatigue. If you are interested, you are experiencing interest. This collection of experiences, the inner felt quality of your moment-to-moment existence, is called consciousness or subjective experience. And it is one of the most mysterious things in the universe, because science has no explanation for why it exists at all. Science has been extraordinarily successful at explaining the material world. It explains how atoms combine into molecules, how molecules form proteins, how proteins build cells, how cells form nervous systems, how nervous systems process information. Neuroscience can identify which brain regions activate when you see red, hear music, or feel pain. But none of this explanation touches the question that philosopher David Chalmers called the hard problem. Why is there any subjective experience associated with these brain processes at all? Why does the information processing in your brain feel like anything? The hard problem is distinct from what Chalmers calls the easy problems, which are not actually easy but are tractable in principle. The easy problems include: how does the brain integrate information? How does the brain focus attention? How does the brain distinguish sleeping from waking? How does the brain report its own states? These are difficult scientific questions, but they are mechanistic. They ask how the brain does things, and in principle, a complete physical account could answer them. The hard problem asks why doing any of this should feel like anything. That is not a mechanistic question. It is a question about the nature of experience itself. The major philosophical positions on consciousness divide broadly into two camps. Physicalism holds that consciousness is entirely physical, that subjective experience is identical to or reducible to brain processes, even if we don't yet understand how. Dualism holds that consciousness involves something beyond the physical, a non-material mind that interacts with the physical brain. Most neuroscientists are physicalists by professional disposition. Most philosophers of mind recognize that physicalism faces serious explanatory challenges that have not been resolved. Among the more provocative positions in consciousness research is panpsychism, the view that consciousness or proto-conscious experience is a fundamental feature of reality, present in some form in all matter, not just in complex nervous systems. Under this view, neurons are not special. They just organize pre-existing proto-experience into the complex unified experience of a human mind. Panpsychism has been defended by serious philosophers including David Chalmers and Galen Strawson. It remains controversial, but has gained significant traction as the failures of conventional physicalism to explain experience have become more apparent. In 2023, a major collaborative study attempted to test two leading scientific theories of consciousness against each other. Integrated information theory, which proposes that consciousness corresponds to the amount of integrated information a system contains, and global workspace theory, which proposes that consciousness corresponds to the global broadcasting of information across the brain. 6 research groups conducted pre-registered experiments designed to distinguish between the theories. The results were inconclusive. Neither theory definitively won. The researchers acknowledged that the hard problem remained unsolved, and that consciousness science was further from resolution than many had hoped. The problem of other minds is related to the hard problem and is equally unsolvable from the outside. You know that you are conscious, you have direct access to your own experience, but you cannot directly access another person's experience. You infer that other humans are conscious based on their behavior and their structural similarity to you. You cannot verify it. This means that in principle, you cannot know whether anyone besides yourself is conscious. Every other person you have ever interacted with might be a philosophical zombie, a being that behaves exactly like a conscious person, but has no inner experience at all. You are aware. That is the most certain thing you know. Descartes' cogito ergo sum, I think therefore I am. And yet the existence of that awareness in a physical universe is one of the deepest unsolved problems in all of human knowledge. The brain is 86 billion neurons connected by trillions of synapses processing electrochemical signals. Somewhere in that process, experience appears. You are the result of that process experiencing itself. Science can map the process. It cannot yet explain why it produces you, why there is a you at all. That question may be the deepest mystery we have.